Hello, this is Nigel at Spiritual Awareness New Zealand, and it is the 31st of March 2020, and the time at the moment is 11:09 p.m. and this is my first opportunity to make this video. I did post that I was going to do something, but this is a kind of update. With all that's happened in the last couple of months. I haven't made a video for a while, and and I wanted to kind of make this and kind of give you my take on what has happened and where we go from here and so forth. Yeah, so I haven't really planned a whole lot what I'm going to say here. So bear with me, if you can't bear with me, then just turn it off and move on. Nothing to see here. Okay, for those who are interested in finding out what I have to say, then listen in. And so firstly, the mass shooting in Christchurch, which happened last week, I haven't said a whole lot about it, and I don't intend to. It was a very unfortunate event, and there's plenty of people throwing out plenty of media, both on the mainstream and alternative, to fill any vacuum and information that you want to have on that. And I'm not going to speculate on the whole thing. I'm really not. I'm not even going to give an angle particularly on it, except for a couple of points. One is that that I respect people of all religious beliefs. For starter, I think that's been pretty clear from the beginning. And so I don't have any particular angle on that. And the second one is that I am adamantly holding the position that mainstream media are very much to blame for what has happened, and have not been held responsible and will not be held responsible for what has happened, and deny responsibility, avoid responsibility. And so why I say that is that for the last several years, they have been inciting hatred against the Muslim community in their media articles, which have been generalised, many very, very inaccurate, creating hate against the Islam faith and the Muslim people, by creating an impression on the New Zealand people that some people in the Muslim faith are extremists and dangerous, and unfortunately that has tainted every tainted the opinion of New Zealanders very much. And yet they have not come forward and apologised. They have not even stopped that kind of article being published. They have done that very much against the Scientology religion, of which I'm a member also. They have attacked that with religious intolerance, critical, sort of black humour type articles. The gossip mags have been the same at it, which are all pretty much owned by the same oppressors, if you like, same idiots. And they have recently done similar things to New Zealanders who are against the vaccination programs that have been going on. They have also done the same against people who in New Zealand, citizens of all walks of life, who are against the poisoning of New Zealand forests and lands with 1080 poison. Sodium fluoroacetate, which is a highly toxic poison and has been used in increasing amounts over the last few years. So they have demonised anyone who would speak out about that, and even as a recent example of that stuff, have published new rules on comments on their website. Some of those rules are good, some of them are very bad, and one of the rules is that they will not accept any comments on 1080 or vaccinations and a variety of other subjects on any articles related to those. Another example of how they're trying to control speech and so forth, and manipulate that by shutting anyone who has an argument against that out. Okay, so they have that going. My purpose in being on Facebook, I guess, is largely one to put some sort of element of truth in. And truth is a very relative thing, right? The media has its slant on truth of, what constitutes truth, and the university professors and government experts have all their own slants on what they believe is truth. And I think most of you will be aware that even in science, even in the greatest scientific discoveries, very often have been proven at a later point to be faulty and incorrect due to later research and so forth. So, the slant is a particular viewpoint, not necessarily always true or anything like that. And what I'm telling you about, I've posted many times. Examples of this are lead paint that was declared safe by New Zealand government, mercury and lead in fillings, amalgam fillings that were considered safe by experts and medical experts and scientists and so forth. Asbestos, that was a building material for many years, now proven to be dangerous, so dangerous that they have to suit up and carefully and specially remove this substance from any buildings. Oh God, the list goes on with so many different things like that. And now, there's fluoride in the water, chlorine in the water supplies. So, anyone who speaks out against these things are often attacked, character attacked very often. I have been character attacked on these things. Many of members of the group have been attacked with character attacks on trying to argue against these things. And many of the attacks also say, oh, well, this is, you're not scientific. Well, science has brought us a lot of very, very destructive things that were later unproven, as I have said, asbestos, mercury fillings, thalidomide, which was a morning sickness a drug against morning sickness and so forth, and that there are still people in New Zealand who are suffering from the results of that. So electroshock is another one that's still going in New Zealand. It's a form of torture, listed as a form of torture by the United Nations. So, and these things are actually still accepted by some people in the government circles, the medical circles and so forth. So don't don't even come at me with this argument that, well, we're arguing that poison is not safe, and don't say, well, scientists have said it is safe and so forth. Poison is poison, and it doesn't take a scientist to know that. So, getting back to the subject, mainstream media has been attacking people and creating religious intolerance and inciting hatred and fear-mongering. If you look at their articles, you'll find that they are constantly referring to impending earthquakes and to impending world disasters, climate change, so forth. All of this kind of thing. If you look at their articles, they're to do with stabbings, killings, death, New Zealanders killing each other and so forth. That, all creating distrust in the community and so forth. So these mainstream media articles and these organisations are just spewing crap, absolute trash, to New Zealanders on a daily basis. And how dare they come to us and say, oh, we have to stop the hate speech. We have to, okay. Okay, so that's my position. Now, am I going to harp on about that? Well, I am going to them. On the other hand, I am trying to put some sort of image of, or to create some sort of future of positivity there. So while it is in my purposes to expose corruption, expose abuses against humanity, I'm trying to do that and continue to post positivity, if you like, and put our attention back on positivity. And I think it would be good if other people could contribute to that direction as well. So that's my view on that, for what it's worth. And I think it's worth something, that's why I'm here, that's why I'm saying this. Nobody has to watch this. You can make your own decisions and so forth as you will. So that's kind of how I've sort of kind of like considered or thought over what's been happening there. On a more personal note, I am trying to move forward. I'm going to South Africa probably in a couple of months. Not quite sure of the date at this stage, we're still getting it organised. To Kyalami Castle, which is the new Scientology castle. It's actually an old castle that was recently purchased by the Church of Scientology and renovated. Well, it didn't require much renovation. It had been a hotel before that. Huge place, a very exciting thing that they're doing with it. They basically moved 300 full-time staff from Clearwater in Florida, and that's quite easy for them to do because they have well over 2,000 staff already at Clearwater in Florida. 2,000 somewhere up there, and full-time staff. It's a huge place. So they moved 300 staff over to South Africa and just got this thing rolling, bam, right from day one, and it's going great over there. And I'm going over for some spiritual enhancement there. That I'm really, really, really looking forward to. That's going to be absolutely amazing for me, and not just for me, but because when you do these steps, it actually has a wider influence on not just you, but on your dynamics, which is, if you look at the dynamics in Scientology, dynamics is urge to survive, and urge to survive the first dynamic is self, but the second dynamic is family and continuation of family. The third dynamic is group, any group that you belong to. Fourth is mankind. Fifth is plants and animals. Sixth is the physical universe. Seventh is the spiritual universe, or your surviving and purposes as a spiritual, your goal to survive as a spiritual being and as a group, or as part of a spiritual dynamic. And eighth dynamic is the God dynamic, or supreme being, or infinity, however a person wants to call that or name that. But it is pretty much that all-encompassing, if you like, creation of the universe, creator of the universe, or whatever you want to call that. And that is not something that is particularly, how would you say, well, I'll just put it in simple words. It's left up to you to work that sort of dynamic out as to what you believe that to be. In Scientology, it's not said this is what it is for you and this is what you should think. It's totally up to the person, which is why Scientology is actually an applied religious philosophy. It's something that you study and through greater awareness, through learning more, then you become more aware of what these other dynamics actually entail. Anyway, without getting too much more into that for the moment, yeah, so I'm heading over to this castle to do these steps, which probably will take a couple of months. There's a lot of stuff that I've got to get through, and so I'll be busy. I'll be full-time while I'm there, flat out. And that'll probably be all day and into the evening as well, every day, with a little spare time, I guess. Now, on that note, there was a new music album, CD, contemporary music, Africa. It's probably going to show up backwards on your screen, but this I've got a few of these CDs which I bought, which were a limited edition CD of some quite good music that anyway, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. How are we going to, I just got those, it's a one-time publication, that CD, so so if anyone is interested in picking one up, I don't know, I might sell them off for $20 each or something like that. I had to buy them myself, so I'm kind of making it up. But if you particularly would like to get one, you can message me on Facebook, and we could get that up. But it's as I say, it's a one-time only CD, so it's one of a kind, and for that reason it could be a bit of a collector's thing. And you might enjoy the music. I have it in the car, and that's cool stuff. That's good. So that is what I'm doing, and as I say, I hope that will have an influence, can improve my ability to do something to benefit New Zealand, if you like, and benefit the world. And I have these these moments where I'm quiet for a while, and I sort of won't be doing a whole lot, and then suddenly I, for example, went over to Russia and did a whole expansion thing over there, where I set up the established the purification program right through Russia, and it's still going there today in just about every city in Russia, all the main cities, and that's what they do, isn't it? And actually in the surrounding countries, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and so forth. So that was one of my bigger projects. But I've done a couple of other things as well. And I hope to do more and make a bit more impact in New Zealand, because I think that New Zealand can be improved upon, and that this technology is worth sharing around, and so I'm very passionate about doing that. And for those who want to have that religious intolerance and kind of attacking kind of mode on all of this, well, actually I tell you what, it'll be around a lot longer than you ever will, and your little complaints and whinges and character attacks and so forth are nothing compared to what's coming from this direction, in terms of the expansion of this technology through the world, including New Zealand. And if you think that I'm dreaming about this or I'm making this up, I can assure you, I know factually that this is going to be around. And what it's going to do for this world is something that will floor you. You have no idea what is coming along, but you don't need to. You don't need to believe what I'm saying or anything like that. It's fine. So, moving right along. Okay, well, that's about pretty much what I was going to say, I guess. Can't think of a whole lot else. I have put up recently an abortion page, which is actually against abortion. And the reason why, again, is because I'm interested in protecting spiritual beings and protecting human life. And a baby in the womb, a fetus, or however you'd like to say that, with its heart beating, is considered life. The fact that a heart beating inside a body is considered life is a medical fact, because they will tell you that if that heart stops beating, it's called stillbirth, which means the baby is dead. And so up until the moment that heart stops beating, it is alive. Now, I will be changing the name of that group when Facebook allows me to. I'll be calling it Pro-Life New Zealand. And that will be something that I will keep doing. And I understand that it's a sensitive subject, but that's something that needs to be talked about. And I'm not saying that that there is never ever a case for abortion, because clearly that isn't so. There are moments where abortion is the right choice. Now, interestingly enough, apparently many women are allowed abortion on the basis that they are mentally unstable, and that is how it is being allowed, because they can say that they're mentally unstable, and so that it's permitted. Somebody electing to do that, to publicly state that they are mentally unstable is a dangerous precedent spiritually for yourself, and one I don't recommend. Now, in the case of an abortion where the mother is at risk of dying, totally understand that. Other cases, case by case, sure. But there's been over 11,000 abortions in New Zealand over the last year, and I don't think that accounts for that. It's way too much. I posted a couple of posts on that, and there were people highly critical and attacking me, mostly attacking me on it, and attacking me as a male. I think that what happens when a woman has had sex, if you like, however to say it any other better way, but when you've got a pregnant woman, that isn't something that is only the woman's business. It is actually very much the man's business, and has been for the last thousands of years of human life. And anyone who has any knowledge of biology would know that. So to deny that a man has any say in it is absolute rubbish, and you really need to take a look at yourself if you think that, because you are entirely incorrect in that idea. And so I will keep that page going, and anyone who I have booted a number of people off the page, quite a number, for attacking me on that note. And interestingly enough, most of them were women, and most of them had that kind of attitude, that same attitude of, it's got nothing to do with you. I can choose what I do to my own body. They didn't allow anything for the life inside them to have any choice, about that matter, and nor was it necessarily a life or death matter for them personally, or anything like that, with the largest majority of those ladies. So some people have criticised me for my blocking on the page, and they will continue to do so. However, the page was started by me. It's my creation. You have no need to stay there. You don't have to. And if we really want to go that way on it, I could just take the line of these women who are saying they have the right to abort a child. Well, I could say, well, I have a right to abort somebody I don't want on the page as well, you see. So anyway, I won't go that way, but actually it is my page and my creation, and what is said on there is my choice. I don't have to communicate to people. And somebody said, because I posted some quotes about tolerance of viewpoints, and that one should be tolerant and so forth. But I'm entirely, I understand that people have different viewpoints, and that doesn't, I don't hold that against them for having those viewpoints. They can have those viewpoints, but they can have them wherever they want. They just don't have to plaster it all over my page. That would be like somebody coming up to you and scribbling their signature or some message on your face. It's like, hey, it's called Facebook, huh? So yeah, I have that choice, and it is what it is. It's like you don't have to stay there. If you don't like the page, you're free to leave. And yeah, anyway, that's how it's been. So that's kind of, I guess, all I have to say on that issue. We keep going, and well, what else? that seems to be pretty much about it. I look forward to this year, which is already well in progress, and as I say, after I return from South Africa, I'm not quite sure what I'll do at that point. I mean, really, I'm going to take that break and do those steps that I have to do there, and then look at things in a new moment and go, well, okay, what do I want to do now? You know, and kind of how am I going to go about this? And I know what needs to be done in New Zealand, and it's really a question of how do we go about accomplishing that. What has been good has been the way New Zealanders have largely come together through what has happened in the last couple of weeks, where instead of citing, well, you know, they've kind of gotten on with life. I think the mass shooting has really taken a lot of people by surprise, and I'll certainly say that it's surprised me, and you know, given me, put me in deep thought, if you like. A little bit speechless on the whole subject, and I don't really want to go into that whole thing because it's just, as I say, what the media has been doing for so long. There's so much bad news out there, and I think it's time for good news, and I think that's the solution. Let's have some good news. Let's move on. Let's end the negativity and get into a more positive sort of direction. And I think this incident was very much a point where we can actually go, okay, let's make a difference here by bringing out that positivity. Because what you put your attention on is what you get. So if you put your attention on negativity, then you tend to get more negativity. And if you put your attention on positivity, then you get more positive things happening. Okay, well, I know this has been a little bit of a long video, but that is something that I wanted to express, and I hope that a few people watch it. Who knows? You know, I'll soon see how that goes. But yeah, if you want any of those CDs, then you know, let me know on that, and I will keep updating for what it's worth to those who are interested, and for those who aren't, then they can move on and make their own page, or you know, where they can say all the things that they want to say or whatever. There's plenty of room for that. Or they can go onto mainstream media and do their whinges on there or whatever. You know, it's like there's no shortage of places to express your comments or whatever at this stage. Okay, well, that's all for now. Thanks for your time, and we'll see where we go from here. All the best.